Alright guys, so today we are going to be checking out the OneBot S6L foldable electric bike. It's got a little motor in there that produces allegedly 400 watts. It's a 36 volt system, 6 gears, 20-inch wheels. Very lightweight little bike. I think it's a cool little bike. It's got that futuristic looking frame to it. So right now I'm testing out this bike, and we're going to get to that in a second, but first let's go over all the components and specs so you guys know exactly what you're getting if you're interested in this tiny little lightweight futuristic looking electric bicycle by OneBot, the S6L. Let's check out the specs.
Let's jump right in. Let's take a look what this bike has to offer. We're going to start up at the top. You've got your ergonomic rubberized grips, minimalist control panel right here. You've got your levers for the mechanical disc brakes, folding handlebar stem, Shimano 6-speed shifter. There's your horn button right over here. And we do also have the throttle on the right-hand side. And the seat on this bike is decently squishy. I'd say this is an average seat. We'll see how comfy it is. We've got some nice, neat-looking cable management from the top. Let's turn this bike on and see what it looks like. So there it is. Very simple display. We've got a full battery, and the levels this bike has is 1, 2, and 3, and the max speed on this bike is about 15 miles an hour, or at least it's claimed to be 15 miles an hour. We're gonna test that in a second. To turn the headlight on, you just hold the plus button down for a second, and here's what that headlight looks like. It's got the bright single light in the middle and a reflector underneath. This bike does not have a rear tail light, it just has a rear reflector. And here, moving on down, we have your 20-inch wheels with the 160mm brake rotor. And there's the CoreRide branded mechanical disc brake, which honestly, I think mechanical brakes are okay for a bike that is lightweight like this. And we have our standard classic bicycle thickness tire in the front. I kind of like the tread pattern, it looks pretty cool. Modern looking design. Moving on back, we've got our cable management that runs underneath the frame. And here's the charge port to the battery. If you do want to charge the battery while it is mounted inside the bike, it is covered by this little rubber piece right here, which was a huge pain to get out. But if you use a tiny little object, something sharp to kind of get underneath there and pull that out, you can. This is kind of a pain to take in and out. It's just one of those little things that will be slightly annoying. I don't know if there's a way to make this easier or not. Maybe just don't put it in all the way. If you are using something small to take this out, do not use something metal. You're gonna stick it by accident into the charge port in there and then mess up the battery. Don't do that. So yeah, it looks like if you put it in lightly, it's okay, but it was in there really good earlier. There's your folding mechanism right here. Underneath, we have a little wheel, which is kind of nice. So when the bike is folded, it's not resting on the chain ring, which some other bikes do, unfortunately. Instead, it rests on this wheel, and it makes it extra mobile. And to make this bike even more compact, it also comes with folding pedals. You just push that in, fold them up, and there it is. And to unfold them, you just pull them straight out, and you are good to go. There's your rear shock for the back. And if you notice, this bike does not have any front suspension. It only has rear suspension, which is unusual because a lot of budget bikes usually only have a front suspension, but this one only has rear. And here we have the adjustable seat post. And what's interesting is that this could get lower if you wanted it to. However, because the seat post bottom goes into this frame, there's a limit for how low this can actually go, and it's actually limited by a small rivet right here. So I'm guessing if you wanted this seat to get even lower, you can drill this rivet out and maybe cut off a portion of this tube, and then you can get the seat really low if you wanted it to. Although then if you do cut this tube, remember you won't be able to get it as high as you wanted it to, which is actually pretty high. But this right here is the lowest the seat can go in stock form. Guys, something that I did want to mention is that this seat is actually fairly tall for the size of this bike. Because it's limited in how low it can go,
due to the length of the seat tube and that rivet in the seat tube. The minimum seat height of this bike is 35 inches. That's as low as this bike seat can go. So I would definitely recommend modifying the seat tube. Maybe you can get a secondary seat tube and a secondary seat that you can easily take the seat out and then put a custom seat tube in, which is shorter, so that way you can get the seat a lot lower. Here's what I look like on the bike at 5'10". As you can see, my leg almost extends. I can put my feet down and still have my body on the seat. Standover height is obviously very good, a lot of space there. And again, if you're expecting a bike for shorter riders, because this bike is on the smaller side, unfortunately, the seat post will hinder you in that sense. It is an inexpensive fix. If that's something you want to do, you can easily purchase another seat with another seat post later on. But just keep that in mind. If you're a shorter rider, this bike, believe it or not, might not be the best for you. Suspension travel, maybe you get at most 1 inch of travel, somewhere on there. It's there.
And the battery that sits in here is a 36 volt battery, 7.8 amp hour battery. It is a small little guy, but again, this is a small bike, so maybe you can get away with it. This is a very, very entry-level bike. Even though this is advertised as an adult bike on the website, maybe for legal reasons, I'm sure this would be great for a starter bike for one of your kids. If you wanted to get one of your kids into e-biking, this might be a great entry point for them. There's the kickstand all the way in the back. Another 160mm rotor with that mechanical disc brake. And here's the motor in the back that on the website claims to peak at 400 watts. This bike does come with some plastic fenders that do have a little bit of flop. This front one is fairly sturdy, and the back one really sticks up quite a bit. It's almost like a spoiler. And it does have a little bit of flop, not too bad though. Moving on to the back, you've got your 6-speed transmission with the Shimano Tourney TZ derailleur and the guard right here in case the bike falls down. The derailleur won't get messed up. Pretty average sized chain ring in the front, which is, I think, perfect for this bike because it's not gonna go fast anyway. This bike does come with a 1.5 amp charger. And on the website, it does claim to charge the battery in 5 hours. And here are the keys to take the battery out. And it looks like with every OneBot bike, you do get a free helmet. I did get this helmet right here. It looks okay, it's very lightweight. I am unsure about the quality and safety of this helmet. It is on the smaller side for me and my giant Eastern European head, so we will not be able to wear this helmet, but maybe this is good for your kid while you wait for the shipping time for a higher quality helmet. I don't know, it's better to have this than no helmet at all. And let's check out the folding and unfolding process of this bike. So first you've got this red button on top of the handle. Press that down and that way you can unlatch, get this front wheel turned towards you, and then you grab the back and you can go ahead and just roll this right in. And from there, you can set it down on the wheel. And as you can see, this bike will fold into pretty much nothing. And then on top of that, you can also fold down the handlebars. So this bike will be very small and compact. In case you need something very lightweight, easy to transport, this bike will be fantastic. And guys, taking out this battery is a very simple process. You gotta just throw the key in, turn the key, and the battery slides right out. Obviously do the reverse, throw the battery in, take the key out, and now you are good to go. Fold this bike back up and you're ready to go.
All right guys, so those are the specs of the bike. Now let's take it out on its test ride. Ladies and gentlemen, we are back with another video review. This time we're on a cute little e-bike, a little foldable e-bike, the OneBot S6L. This is a very, very small, lightweight e-bike, but I think it is strong enough to do our main hill climb test. We're gonna at least do that test. We're not gonna do the steep hill because I don't think it's gonna be able to make it. But we'll at least do this main hill climb test. Allegedly, this bike does peak at 400 watts. And because the wheels are on the smaller size and the tires are on the smaller size, in theory, this bike should have a little bit more torque than some of the usual ones because of those smaller wheels. So, without further ado, throttle only hill climb test. Here we go. 3, 2, 1, go. Off to a slow, easy start. Come on, baby. 8 miles an hour. All right, we're at 9. We're at 9. Ladies and gentlemen, we're closing in at 10. Here we go, 10. All right, we're crossed into the double digits. As always, if you guys like videos like this, feel free to subscribe to the channel if I have earned your subscription. Hit the notification bell so you don't miss any videos. If you like the video, like the video. If you hate it, let me know why in the comments. Oh, we're slowing down. Oh, no. All right, we're at 10 miles an hour. Okay, we're making it. We're doing it. Little 36-volt system. We're getting there, folks. All right. And time. All right. We'll throw that up on the screen later on. Pretty significant voltage drop. This was a freshly charged 100% battery. And while I was going up that hill, we dipped down into 81%. So pretty significant voltage drop there. What are you gonna do? All right, let's test the downhill speed. Let's get up to speed. Downhill speed, throttle only. All right, we're hitting 20, 23, 24, 25, and that's about all I trust out of these mechanical brakes. I'm not gonna go faster than that. They need a little bit of adjusting. The levers actually mush right into the handlebars, but if you adjust that, should be fine. Honestly, I think mechanical brakes are perfectly acceptable for a bike like this. Very lightweight bike. I think it's under 50 pounds, around 50 pounds, maybe a little bit less. I'll throw the number up on the screen. Whatever it is. Handlebars are on the narrower side, but what are you gonna do? That's the nature of this bike. It's a small little bike. It's got foldable pedals. The whole thing is foldable, lightweight. So I'm going up this very moderate hill, and you are gonna have to pedal. No, the voltage drop is incredible. We're at 76% right now. I'm powering through this thing. As soon as I let off, it's gonna jump back up. There it is, 95. 95, and we get 96. Yeah, it's gonna recover. But this is a tiny little 36 volt, 7.8 amp hour battery. It's a little guy. It's not gonna give you a lot of assist. The top speed on this bike, it does top out at a hard 15 to 16 miles an hour. It will not go faster than that. If there is a way to unlock this bike, I don't know it. I looked around in the settings, I looked around online. I could not find any information on how to unlock this bike. Maybe it would be able to go 20 miles an hour tops, maybe if you unlocked it, I don't know. But again, I don't know if there's a way to unlock it. This bike does not have any front shocks, so you will feel bumps in the front more than if it did have shocks, especially because this is not a fat tire e-bike. It has standard size, probably like 1 inch wide tires, maybe a little bit more, something like that. And they are pumped up to a higher PSI because of that. The recommended PSI is, I think, between 40 and 60, somewhere on there. So I threw them at 50. So you are gonna feel more bumps in your hands. You're gonna feel more vibration in your hands. That's not too terrible because the seating position is decently upright. So most of your weight is gonna be on the seat anyways. And normally I would do at least a 0 to 20 test on this bike, but since it cannot hit 20 miles an hour, there's no point. So this bike is a very, very entry-level beginner's bike. I know it is advertised for adults, but more than likely a lot of you guys are gonna buy it for your kids because it's cheap, and if they break it, it's not a big deal. It's also slow, which means they won't fly into a building or someone else or a car or who knows what going 30 to 40 miles an hour like some of these other e-bikes I test go. There's a tool for every job. And sometimes you need a sledgehammer, but sometimes you don't. If you're trying to hang a picture on a wall, you don't want a sledgehammer. And this is the equivalent. We're hanging a little picture on a wall. Maybe you're just hanging around the neighborhood, visiting your neighbors, just doing light riding on some like, I don't know, sidewalks, beach, little beach pathways, something like that. All flat. This will be perfect. If you really need something lightweight, this is also a good option. Very, very lightweight bike. Foldable. You can throw it in your car. You don't even need a big car for it. A lot of these foldable bikes, they're still pretty big and heavy when you fold them up. This one actually is small, thankfully. As for the gearing of this bike, I think it's pretty good for the speed that it can produce. So right now I'm pedaling hard and it's not really helping me. I'm pedaling pretty hard and fast right now, and all I can hit is 20. So if you're gonna stay below 20 miles an hour, if you're not interested in going that fast, if you're buying this for someone who is a slowpoke, not a speed demon like me, this bike will be perfect. If you guys do want to check this bike out, check out the link in the description below. So we're going up a steeper hill now. Let's bring the gearing down. The gearing is fairly low because of those small wheels, which is good for a low power bike like this because you're going to need your legs. You're going to need that leg power. Yeah, gear 1 is like, my legs are moving quick, and it's just about 10 miles an hour. Look at that. You can get some serious torque with this gearing and the small wheels. I do hear the battery rattling around just a bit inside the tube. Honestly, it's not that big of a deal because that's an easy fix. You could just throw some kind of like that thicker tape, whatever material, like a felt material, right around the battery, and that'll tighten it right up. So that's not really a big a deal. Let's check out the different riding modes. So we have 3 levels. Level 1, nice and easy. Looks like this cuts you off at about 7 or 8 miles an hour. Oh, we're still accelerating. Yeah, so sub 10 mile an hour speed. Yeah, right now I'm pedaling after 10 and I don't feel any power from the motor. Let's get past this hill and see what level 2 is. Seat comfort is okay. Again, that's one of those easy to change things that most people change on their bike as soon as they get it. So it's not really that big of a deal, but it's not bad. In fact, I'd probably switch the seat post in general. So if you need to, you can get that whole seat lower. And that's a pretty inexpensive fix. The tires are quiet. The tread on the tire is more street oriented. So that's good. You're probably not going to be off-roading this thing anyways. I hope you won't. It wouldn't be good for you or the bike. Alright, let's check out level 2. So we're going to throttle. That gives me about 12 miles an hour, 11. And then level 3 boosts you up to just over 15. Yeah, I think the motor, it's limited by the software somehow. It could probably get to 20 if it wanted to. But remember guys, the more power you use, the faster you will use up your battery. And this is not a big battery. It is a small 7.8 amp hour, 36 volt battery. So that will not give you all that much range. You probably don't want to use up all the juice that the battery offers all at once because you're not going to get that much range. We are just going to keep it in this neighborhood for today. Zip around in my slow, I guess this would be considered a class 2 e-bike. Because it has a throttle, but it doesn't go over 20 miles an hour. I don't even know. So all you guys that are always complaining about me flying around neighborhoods in essentially what you would call a motorcycle, this will make you very happy. All you commenters, you know who you are. I hope you watch this video. See, I'm not that much of a psycho. Only like 50%. I can still get out here and chill like a normal, sane human being. For a little while at least. Yeah, so there's a little hill that we're coming up. Level 3, we're slowing down, we're slowing down, we're slowing down. You really do have to pedal this bike. This is not a throttle-only bike, although it is good that they give you throttle. Honestly, I think every e-bike should have throttle. it does slow down significantly. We're at about 3 miles, and I can't really tell you honestly the percentage because the voltage sag is so intense that what we'll have to do is put it on the multimeter later and see what the voltage is that way after the battery rests for a bit. That's actually what I'm going to start doing for all my e-bike reviews. I think that's the most accurate way to know where exactly your battery percentage is. What a nice day. Allegedly, we're going to get a bunch of snow this weekend, and we haven't gotten any snow up here in Connecticut. So I'm half excited for that. I do like to ski. I haven't been out skiing really all that much because we haven't been getting any snow. But if there's snow on the ground, I can't give you guys videos like this. I do not like riding in the snow. Unless I do have a crazy idea. I might want to try one of my dual motor bikes in the snow. I don't know. What I'll do for this range test today is I will keep it at level 3, and I'm going to pedal the whole time. And I think that'll give you a real world idea of what kind of range you'll get. And just for reference, I am 5'10", 200 pounds, in case you guys are curious. Hopefully I will be about 10 pounds lighter. I am losing a little bit of weight. I usually hover between like 190 and 200, somewhere on there, and it is time to cut some calories. So, final thoughts on this OneBot S6L electric bike. I think it's great for what it is. I think it's fantastic. It's a small, lightweight bike, good for slow speeds, not really good for hills, but it can handle some light to moderate hills, especially if you pedal. It's not too bad. If for whatever reason you have some type of a restriction in your own strength levels as to what you can lift up, this bike will be good. Very lightweight. You don't even need a bike rack for this car because it's so small it can fold very compactly into your car, and you can just throw it in your car. The battery rattle, very easy fix. The seat height, very easy and inexpensive fix. I think once those things are solved, it's a pretty solid little bike. Again, I know this is advertised for adults, but if I had a kid and I didn't want them to fly headfirst into a wall at 30 to 40 miles an hour, like I probably would if I was a kid, I'd get them this. This would restrict their speed and give them a taste of e-biking. And then later you can sell this if you want to someone else and get them something better. But for now, this is a great little bike. The standover height is relatively low, which is great. So if you're on the shorter side and you do fix that seat issue, you shouldn't have any issues riding this bike. Mechanical disc brakes, I think, are totally fine for a bike like this. Normally, I want to see hydraulic brakes on e-bikes, but this one's fine. It's a lightweight little bike. It does take a little bit more adjusting for mechanical brakes because hydraulic brakes do adjust themselves as they wear out. But mechanical brakes, you have to actually get in there, and there's a special Allen bolt. You just have to turn a little bit as the brakes wear out to make sure that's not an issue. Yeah, guys, with the small wheels and the gearing, you can pedal this thing up some pretty intense hills. If the bike isn't giving you all that much power, which it won't, you at least can use your legs and through the gearing have a good amount of torque to get yourself up the hill. So I really do like that. So that's it for today, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed the video of the OneBot S6L. And if you buy the bike using that link, it will help the channel at no extra cost to you. At the end of the video, I'll give you guys a readout as to what the range was on this bike and what the voltage was of the battery. That's it for today, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Subscribe if you like content like this. If you don't like this video, let me know why in the comments. Tell me why you're mad. Tell me what your problem is. If you like this video, like the video, leave a nice comment. I always appreciate that. I love my haters and my fans. Until next time.